wasted my time during the ages of 18 and 23. And now I'm paying for that. Now I'm trying to build myself up. Now I'm trying to put myself through them experiences that I missed during them periods of my life. I could be so much further ahead of where I currently am if I just didn't waste so much time. If I wasn't so scared. If I wasn't so anxious. I'm only 25. I haven't actually missed a lot. But it feels like I'm behind because of the time that I've wasted. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to feel behind. I don't want you to feel like you've wasted so much time and you get to the point of still trying to improve, but you feel like there's no point because you're so far behind anyway. The first thing that I would do is to focus fully on my physical health. During this time, I started the gym. I started focusing on my physical health, how I looked and what I ate. But it wasn't optimal. It wasn't great. I was still eating the bad foods. I was still skipping the gym. I was still going out drinking. I was still, binge eating. I didn't take it seriously. And now that I am at the stage that I'm at, if I did what I do today, then I would be so much further ahead physically and mentally within my journey. During them 5 years, I didn't realise how food affected me. I didn't take dieting seriously. I didn't realise that, certain foods give me brain fog. Certain foods stress my body out. Certain foods make me feel tired. I smoked, I drank, I did drugs. I got pulled into that life because everyone else was doing that. And what I was doing, people thought I was being extreme. I was being too healthy, or, it's only one day. When I'd go out for food and they're getting food and I'm like, oh no, I won't have anything. Like, they'd try and push you into that. And I don't know if it's something to do with them. Like, I'm making them feel bad for having this food. But for me, I give in. I didn't take it seriously enough. I could have been bigger. I could have been leaner. I could have been functioning better. My body could have been functioning better. And my cardiovascular would have been, tenfold better. Now I've eliminated these bad habits. Yes, I have a day where, I'll enjoy myself. But I don't beat myself up about it. And, that I can stay consistent days after. It's not like I have one bad day and then it spirals out of control anymore. I eat clean. I eat 250 grams of protein. I run. I train 6 times a week. I'm the most addicted that I've ever been. The most obsessed with my fitness journey, my health. And it's not what it does for me physically anymore. It's what it does for me mentally. It's indescribable how much it helps my mental health, how much it helps me mentally, able to focus, to think better thoughts, to just feel better overall, to think better, to feel better. The next thing I would focus on is my emotional state. Now, don't run away, because I know as soon as you hear, emotions, you're going to be like, oh, I'm not emotional, whatever. I wasn't emotional. That's what I thought anyway, because I would hide it, I would suppress it, but it's what that suppression did that held me back within my journey. That fear of feeling them feelings, because we're told that we don't have feelings, that we shouldn't have feelings. We learn to just suppress it. We learn to just hide from them emotions. It's not about hiding from the emotions, it's about processing them and experiencing them and using them in a productive way. That's what I couldn't do. And because I suppressed them, I chose these bad habits. I chose to do these bad habits that I thought were addictions. The drinking, the drugs, the smoking, the porn, the sex, the going out, like the gaming. I thought I was addicted to all these things. I couldn't understand why I couldn't give them up. But it was because of that stress that I felt. I was relieving that pain, that stress, the emotion that I couldn't show because I wasn't allowed to show. I got taught to not be emotional, to not feel these emotions. And that suppression led me to these addictions because it was the relief, the pleasure, the comfort that it brought. Because I was constantly stressed, constantly emotional. I was looking for that pleasure, that relief of all this stress, this shit that was going on in my head. And that's why I was addicted to these things that held me back for so long. Once I learned to deal with them emotions, them feelings, once I was able to express them in a healthy way, once I was able to make them more productive, I was able to line my life up with my goals and not do these bad habits. I could easily just give them bad habits up within like a week. Just go cold turkey and never do them again. Because that's the type of person I am, is to just do cold turkey, not like, wind myself off it. Like, I could just do cold turkey. If I don't want to do something, I won't do it. That's just the way I am. But because of that emotional stress, that the relief, then the pleasure, the comfort that these things were giving me, it was addictive. The feeling of that pleasure, the comfort, it was like a nice hug. And that's what was addictive. Not the things that I was doing was addictive. And that came from not dealing with the anger, the upset. The next thing would be doing things that I feared. I hid away because I felt anxious, I felt scared, I thought I was stupid. And these self-beliefs came from my childhood, came from my life experiences, but that turned into me seeking jobs and me seeking experiences that didn't improve me anyway, didn't make me more of a man, make me the person that I wanted to be. Because I had this vision inside my head of who I wanted to be. I wanted to be more confident, I wanted to be less anxious, I wanted to be fit, I wanted to be healthy, I wanted to be able to speak. Because I just wanted to hide away because of these self-beliefs. I found jobs, I found experiences that confirmed them self-beliefs of mine. I've always wanted to be good at speaking, but I didn't put myself in that situation because I could have found a job that forced me into speaking to people, forced me into, like a customer service job or a job in a shop. Like, I would constantly be exposed to that situation to understand how people function and how people work, and I would have just had a lot more experience within speaking to people, with having human interactions. And that became, for like 5 years of my life, I would go shifts without even speaking to anyone, working 12 hours without even speaking to anyone, without even seeing anyone. Because from the minute that I walked into work, I would work on a truck. I would sit in that truck for 12 hours because there was some days where my mental was that fucked. I was that like emotional, that upset, that angry, that I was here, that I was in this job, that I hated my life, that I just stayed in that truck. I came away from all social interactions completely. I worked that 12 hours, I didn't speak, and then I would go home to an empty house because I lived on my own as well. For 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours, I would have no human connection, no human socialization, no conversation, just me and my anxious thoughts, me and my depressing thoughts. And these confirmed all these self-beliefs, these thoughts that kept running through my mind. Then in them moments where you're scared, you're backing out, you don't want to put yourself in that situation, I encourage you to do so. Because when have you ever done something that's been scary and thought that wasn't worth it? Like, you always get something from it. You always learn something from them experiences. You always grow faster from them experiences just because of the pain, the uncomfortable feelings, the emotions that you go through during them moments, like you pick up on the things, the tiny things that you could have done better, and then next time when you go into that situation, you're aware of that and you can do better next time. It makes you grow faster just because of the pure anxiety, the emotion, the embarrassment that you feel during them moments. And I didn't do that. For 5 years, I lived in a bubble. I lived in my comfort zone. I didn't push myself to do anything that was difficult, that was hard, that was uncomfortable, that was embarrassing. And that held me back. So I encourage you to do so. Put yourself in them situations and be, scared and vulnerable. Because they were the things that held me back. Is I didn't want to have a conversation with someone because I didn't want them to see how I was truly feeling. I didn't want to be vulnerable. And I learned that through having these conversations, through reading books, that I wasn't stupid, that I was capable of being the person that I wanted to be, that I could be confident, I could improve my relationships, my self-beliefs. During this time that I wanted to hide away, that I wanted to come away from social interactions, human interactions, in that moment I thought that I was quiet, I was shy, I couldn't speak properly. But deep down, deep inside of me, I wanted to be seen, I wanted to be heard, I wanted to be listened to, I wanted to be able to speak. And I found that through reading books. I found that through these difficult challenges, putting myself in these experiences, having conversations, and embarrassing myself and putting myself in them vulnerable situations, learning stuff about relationships, learning stuff about confidence, learning stuff about self-beliefs, trauma, all these different things that I was unaware of. These books, these conversations that I had made me aware of this deep feeling within me to be heard, to seek this improvement, to actually find out that I love speaking to people. I love having conversations. I love talking. I love being weird. I love all these things that I didn't know about myself. So seek knowledge. Seek these things that I didn't even know I was interested in, like trauma and self-beliefs, relationships. Like I didn't know I had them areas to work on, but I just picked up a book and I started reading. My relationships would constantly fail. I was in and out of relationships. I had all these negative thoughts come up. I had conversations about trauma, and it just sparked a thought in my mind. So, I picked up these books. I went out and I learned what these things were, and through them books, through reading, through having conversations, I came to realizations of okay, this happened to me, and I can do this to improve this, and it made me more aware of what's actually gone on in my life and who I am and what I can do about this situation, the situation that I'm in. Because you're not stuck. It's just that you don't know enough. You haven't had the conversations, you haven't seeked the knowledge, you haven't read that information. And it's out there, because there's plenty of books, there's plenty of conversations and videos online about all these different things that you wouldn't even think about, and there's probably things that I'm completely unaware of that I haven't read yet. But there might come a time that it'll lead me down that path. If I just keep seeking the knowledge and asking the right questions, then I'll eventually get to the place that I want to be, the person that I want to be. So if I was to start again from the age of 18, this is what I would do. I feel like this is a good foundation of building yourself up as a man, as a person, to being the most confident, the most fit, healthy, to be able to just be a better human, because you will be mentally and physically strong from these things. The achievement, the feeling that you get inside of you after completing that difficult thing. It's just indescribable unless you've done something like that. When you overcome something that's challenging, what that does for you is, indescribable. It's just another feeling that you won't get unless you go through them experiences. I hope this helps, boys. Love you.